being a communications major, I've had to be in the radio station. We've gone into the production studio to do a lot of work on camera. So we learn a lot of technical concepts, but then we also learn like the theoretical side of things where you're learning how to analyze why and how people think. After taking classes like media theory, public speaking, production, those classes have definitely prepared me for the professional world of media and communication. I chose to be a communications major because I really like talking and engaging with people, learning about how we think and why we think. But I also like the technical side of communications where like you get to learn how to use the cameras, you learn about the production, a little bit of social media and public relations. So I really just wanted to study something where I could learn how to connect and engage with people on all different types of platforms. I think that definitely helped me in the professional field because there's so much going on in the media industry that there's not always time for someone to teach you. You have to have the initiative to get up and go and find answers for yourself. Actually being put in those environments while you're in the class help you learn exactly what you want in this field. Being that most of the administration and the teachers and the professors here have worked in their professional fields, they have connections and networks outside of the university. And that's part of the reason why I'm able to do everything that I do, because I'm surrounded by nothing but bright people and people who are willing to help and give you that opportunity to go out there and get it.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Jeremiah Sullivan. I'm the Executive Director of the School of Communication, Media, and Journalism here at Kean University. I've been here at the university since 2014 and took over our school just this past January. And I can tell you there's quite a lot of great things we could talk to you about today. I have two of my esteemed colleagues here we'll get to meet in just a moment. But we'll talk a lot about internships and classes you can take and degrees, as well as hear from not one, not two, not three, but four of our students, both past and present. So without further ado, I welcome you, and I'll turn this over to the next slide, please.
Hello, I'm Allison Edgley, Professor Edgley. I'm one of our lecturers, and I've actually been working at Kean for about 13 years now in various capacities, so I'm kind of a lifer. But now I work with our school and our team in Wenzhou, and I also just recently started working with our students on internships as well. So I'm the lead coordinator there. So any questions you have, you can always gear them towards me.
Howdy, folks. I'm Courtney Atkins, that's Professor Atkins, and I'm also a lifer at Kean. I've known a lot of the Kean people here for a while, so it's a great place to be. And I am primarily based at our Ocean campus, which is in Toms River, New Jersey. It's on the Barnegat Bay. It's about 20 minutes from Seaside Heights. It's a pretty neat place. So if you're thinking of taking classes at Kean University, you can take a class at Union, you can take a class at Kean Ocean. We started 3 different major options at the Kean Ocean campus: comm studies, public relations, and this spring we're launching our journalism option. So if you need anything, you can always email me at catkins@kean.edu. And welcome to this session. Thanks for coming.
And now we have, as Professor Atkins did let us know, we have a couple different options for our majors. So depending on whether you want to get more into the media outlet, whether or not you want to be more of an ambassador for a company, or help them to present their image, we have different options for you. Our comm studies kind of houses a little bit of everything. So you get to focus a little bit more on relational and family communication, while also taking a few courses from some of the other areas. And as we are now adding to Ocean up at the Union campus, we also have our journalism degree. And we have our school paper, which is the Tower. So we also have a really good interactive way and experiential way for our students to be able to write and, uncover stories and interview faculty and, just be able to interact with the school in that way. So those are just a little brief overview of the public relations option, the journalism, media film or just the comm studies, which a lot of students sometimes come into first and then they find their home, or vice versa. So, you know, you don't always have to choose it right away. It's just a way for you to see what you're really interested in. But whenever you're interested in that computer, you know, or sorry, the camera, you always have that option. I know the computer's a little much for us all right now, but when we get you more experiential, that, you know, getting with the camera and learning angles and, you know, the way that things work on the radio really can be very interesting and fun for everyone. And so we all, you know, we try to make the experience for whatever program you choose, you know, to be really engaging and interactive.
That's funny. I was just thinking, Allison, I was like, I wish I could hand them out the Kane University pens we have for the department, but we can on the virtual platform.
Sorry, guys, we can't throw you out little goodies as we go.
We will give you goodies when the world goes back to the classroom.
Professor Atkins, you want to tell us more about Kane Ocean?
Well, Kane Ocean is a really interesting little place. It's on the Ocean County College campus, and it's a building. It's a very nice state-of-the-art building. We have a club. We have the PRSSA. We're going to have the tower there this spring. And we have a lot of interesting classes there, like podcasting and pop culture, family communication. I think the best part about the Ocean campus is it just has like a smaller feel. You're kind of with the same group for 2 years if you're a transfer student. And we only have classes that are like 3,000, 4,000 level. So usually people will transfer and then go there. But in terms of just my experience in Kane in general, like I love being at both campuses. And even though we're remote right now, I still feel like we're bringing classroom to our students. So I do look forward to being like back on campus more full time, but I also feel like our teachers are doing a great job in this pandemic, and so are our students. So I find the pivot to be seamless and organic.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
So here's an example of some of the experiential learning that Professor Atkins was talking about, Professor Edgley. For anybody who's studying any of our potential 4-degree options, you're in luck. We have at least one experience for each of you to take advantage of. So as Professor Edgley had said, the Tower is our student newspaper of record, and we are so happy to announce that it's all now ranked #1 college newspaper by the New Jersey Collegiate Press Association just this year. So that is #1 across the Garden State. I can see one of our students, Tasha's really excited about that. We love the support there, Tasha. Union TV channel 34, that's the public access channel in Union. And our students at Kane TV write, shoot, direct, and edit all of their own original content. There is now at least one show airing several times a week on that channel. So that's a really great opportunity for our students to expand their wings and share that content. For our PRSSA club, that's part of our Public Relations Student Society of America, that lets our public relations majors and really anybody who's interested in public relations get a chance to experience a slice of life. What would it be like to work in that field and create campaigns for clients both on and off campus? You'll hear from 2 students in just a couple of minutes in terms of their experience in that group. We also have WKNJ FM broadcasting on campus and streaming online. Tasha will definitely, I'm sure we'll talk about that in a little bit from now too. And WKNJ FM has also been exponentially helpful in keeping information really accessible for those folks coming on campus and utilizing the county's testing center as well. So we really appreciate WKNJ FM's contributions for the greater community. And last but not least, as Professor Atkins had said, Kane Ocean does have the Communication Club, where they discuss and tackle a lot of different topics that relate to our major throughout the semester. So many different
trips.
Yeah, and they go on trips.
Yeah, we've gone to MSNBC. We've gone to the Dr. Oz show. We've had a couple of guest speakers, one on Briggs Meyer and the personality tests. And then we had a speaker come and talk about his books in environmental. He writes like animals that are characters. And he even has license agreements with the Grateful Dead to use their lyrics. It's pretty cool. We had a public speaking contest. And through Professor Gilly with Kane TV, we go to Maury Povich a lot, and it's a lot of fun. And they give us pizza on the bus, and it's free.
These are all really, really cool things that we can tell we love, and we hope to get back to in more familiar times. Next slide, please. I think this is where Professor Edgley comes in.
We're back to the internships. Something else to mention with the experiential learning, as you highlighted, is that essentially all of our program options have some level of experiential learning. So whether it's media film and it's going out, to see what the back end of a show is like, or the PR students going to a firm, there are a lot of different ways that we like to explore. Now that's within, the courses that you're in. However, we have some other options for internships as well. So most of our students do this when they're in their junior year. So once you've transferred in about 75 credits or you've gotten yourself there, we normally look at this, as an option. We like to have our students have at least one internship throughout the year, within their junior, senior year, so they can, just explore. Sometimes we don't really know what we like to do. We like to just see what the hands-on, what the environment is like, what the culture, different places is like. So that way we know when we're getting out and, the real world after we have our degrees, we already have some built-in connections and networks. So we network with the community. We network with a different, organizations on campus. We also network with our alumni. So right now we have students that have gone on to, these great places, and they are now providing us new opportunities for us to provide to our students who are currently enrolled. So you can get for credit internships. You also can get not for credit internships. It really just depends on how you want to work it out, but we'll work that with you. But we just really like to find, different opportunities for you to apply that experiential learning that we're giving you and show that you can do it in the real world and apply that too. So we do work in collaboration with career services. Career services also will be a guide and a tool for you thereafter. So while you're in the department, we help you find those different places that we can, find opportunities for jobs and employment, but then they also help you thereafter. So it's very much working in tandem to make sure that we get you a good fit and we get everything squared away for you. And the process really isn't too elaborate to actually apply once you get it. And we have a variety of different resources as well for you to search. Some students, again, word of mouth, but then others, we work and we try to find the best places for, our interests and, just our preferences in that way as well. So there are multiple on-campus internship opportunities as well if you want to stay on campus. And then there are a variety that are outside as well. We partner a lot with New York because, as we already heard, our location is very, very close to New York City. That's where we have a lot of big firms. However, even though most of them are remote right now, we're finding that they've adapted very well. We are not having any issues or, challenges as much as we thought we might have with finding students remote internships, which are going to continue into the spring as well. So those are just some opportunities for you to consider once you get into that area, or once you get into those credits, to really try and get you out there in the world and try to put your mark out there as well.
And I have the pleasure to kick this off and introduce the first of our 4 students who will be speaking to you today. I should say former student. Alexandria just graduated this past year, and we can't wait to see where her story will go next. But it's always a pleasure to hear from her, and we want to welcome her back to this again. Alex was a member of our PRSSA chapter, survived, I think, maybe 2 classes with me, and that's definitely an award in and of itself. So I'm glad that you did, and I'm glad that you're here now. Alex, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Alex. I am a recent King graduate. I graduated this past May, majoring in communication public relations. Originally, when I started at Kane, I was an education major, and over my years, I found my way to communication. I was really drawn to the wide variety of interesting classes. I took social media, journalism, video production, and public relations. All of the educators that I learned from had real world experience, which was so helpful. And that was a big part of my success at Kane, which involved the faculty mentoring. The professors always had great advice, and they went out of their way to make sure that I was really succeeding while creating a healthy balance of learning and fun. This reassured me that I chose the right major. I saw how much they loved it, and I knew that if I followed their advice, I would love it too. And I did, and I still do. The professors teaching the courses are still active in their fields. They have years of experience, and they're always willing to share that experience. And that gave an inside look and tips on how to really succeed in the field. There was also a lot of fun events planned, as were mentioned before. So some of the ones that I participated in were some on-campus events, which showcase student work. I did escape rooms for team building, guest speakers, and those are just to name a few. And the internship opportunities were always endless as well. And I was always encouraged to take not just one, but as many as possible. And there was really something for everyone, which was nice. As a public relations major, one of my favorite classes was PR campaigns with Professor Sullivan. It provided me with hands-on experience, and that gave me the opportunity to design a whole PR campaign for a local branch of the YMCA in New Jersey. I learned how to research the company and its audience, strategize with real employees, brainstorm, and just kind of help them improve their branch overall. From start to finish, each part of the campaign was something that came along slowly. So the finished product was something that I would put in my portfolio and I still talk about months later. And while this class was professional, there was also a really exciting competitive edge, which I enjoyed. And overall, I'm just super happy with public relations. If I could go back, I would choose it over and over again. So.
Thank you, Alex. It's always good to hear from you. And I swear that you said that honestly. We didn't talk about that beforehand. That's all honest feedback. Actually, moving on from Alex, we're going to transition to, in just a moment, another one of our PR program alums who also just graduated, Karen Pena. You can go to the next slide, please. She was a member of our PRSSA chapter as well. And Karen took on a leadership role too, which I'll tell you about in just a moment. She was the director of our chapter development. So without further ado, Karen couldn't be with us today, so she recorded a message, but here it is.
I'm from a community college in my area, and one of the main things that kind of stood out in my mind was that I wanted to go to a school where it wouldn't only provide me with the hands-on instruction of public relations, but it would also give me the opportunities needed to utilize what I had learned and apply them in the workplace. I chose Kane because of all of these factors, and I was intrigued and also really interested in just how broad the scope of PR was. So in my time at Kane, I got these opportunities to develop my professional and leadership skills through Kane's PRSSA chapter. Through that organization, I was able to have an exposure to different firms in New York City and understand the scope of PR. I've also gone on to have not one, but 2 internships in my short time at Kane, which has been really humbling and honestly really mind-blowing. And with the help of the professors in the school of CMJ, I valuable connections with my professors and students alike, and I've been given tools to use to succeed in the field of public relations.
So I appreciate that message from Karen. I think we're going to transition now to Professor Edgley, and she'll introduce our next student.
All right. Up next, we have Cameron Schaefer, one of our 2021 candidates. So she'll be graduating this coming spring. She also was unable to be with us live, so she has a pre-recorded message for us. And one of the connections, which is also something that you can think about for yourselves also, is something that she and I both are a member of, are the National Society for Leadership and Success. So, we are communication majors, but we also have shown within, our community and our studies that, we have leadership abilities. So communication really, does kind of spread into many different disciplines as well. So that's just something for you to think about. So here's our message here. She's also one of our Lambda Alpha Sigma Honor Society members as well. So we have a message from her.
My name is Cameron Schaefer. I just completed my junior year here at Kane, so unlike the other 2 students, you guys get me for 1 more year. So I have earned a spot in the Lambda Alpha Sigma Honor Society, as well as the NSLS, as well as Dean's List. So from high school, it's a big change, but you could do it. It's hard, but like most young adults starting school, I was unsure what I wanted to study and major in. I've changed my mind 3 times, from criminal justice to childhood education, and then finally found my home with communication. I always knew I wanted to work with other people, but I couldn't exactly pinpoint it. So the communication department at Kane challenged me to get out of my comfort zone and teach me valuable skills that will stick with me forever, and also teaches you tips and tricks with internships to land a job in your field. So the intense speech classes, many group projects, amazing personal, professional professors helped me land a job with the Major League Baseball Network in Secaucus. And so, unlike the other 2, I'm a media major. So the Kane has a really great TV production class that allows you to make your own 15-minute TV show with brand new, hands-on, state-of-the-art cameras and equipment. So without, I would not have been comfortable jumping right into the TV scene without that class. And Kane TV has an Instagram account, so you can check that out. So if someone told me 3 years ago that I would be working in TV and media, not a chance. I would not have believed you, not for a second. But so everyone has a different college experience, and it's okay to change your mind 100 times if you need to. So for anyone who is questioning a career like I was, and maybe still am, who knows, the communication department allows students to take classes in journalism, public relations, TV and media, film, and those will for sure lead your way to success and greatness.
I think we're going to transition now to our fourth and final student and turn over to Professor Atkins for the intro.
Welcome back to me, guys. I'm going to introduce our student, Tasha Dalbachek. Tasha is pretty awesome. She is the program coordinator for our radio station at Kane, WKNJ FM, and that's 90.3. So we have a pretty sweet radio station on campus, and Tasha's going to come in and tell you guys a little bit about her BA in Comm, Media, Film, and she is going to graduate in 2021. Tasha?
Hi guys, I'm so happy to be here. My major is in journalism, but I chose journalism specifically because I was seeing the world taking a nice shift into a world where we have to evaluate each other on such a deep level and having to really understand, like, where we're coming from in a sense of, communicating with one another, whether it's through, the digital media or face-to-face. And I thought it was important to major in that because I wanted to fully understand the world around me. And the greatest thing about the communication department is that you are met with these influential people who are building great influential people within us as students. And when you start to learn about the courses that are there for the communication option, you can see that Kane is going to fully equip you with as many courses and as many skills as possible. So when you go out into the world, you're not going to be confused. You're not going to know what to do. And you have that hands-on experience that the professors give you as well as your peers. And when I joined WKNJ 90.3 FM, I found a home within that because you're not just there with just communication students, you're there with so many people who bring their own skills and their own fascination within the field of media and are just constructing themselves into knowing how to edit, how to take audio and recordings and making it perfection and to put it within their portfolios to show people that they're very well versed within this field. And it's given me a lot of confidence over the years because when I first declared communications, I was very nervous because the thing that came to my mind was public speaking, going up in front of people, whether or not you're being recorded or not, which is something that happened in the advanced public speaking course where you get to see yourself in that sense and you get to really pick apart your quirks, your strengths, your weaknesses, but it truly builds you. So then when you do have to stand up in front of people, whether it's in a board meeting or a conference, you will be confident and you'll be well equipped and you would know that this school has given you what you need to be a true professional. And a lot of the courses, the ones that were my favorite was mass media, intro to journalism, which, was kind of how I fell in love with the field. You get to learn how to interview people and which questions gets you to the core and the nitty gritty of, the story that you have to chase. And ultimately within communications, you really find the value and the importance of stories and where people come from and where they're going and the world that you are literally contributing to. So being a Kane student and being under communications, it really makes you such a redefined individual and you make a name for yourself and you are amongst so many other names as well. So in a way, you learn so much more about yourself and your peers and the world around you. And it's honestly a really great major. And if you meet anyone, especially at the radio station where we have so many people who come in and they say like, wow, you guys are really cool. Like, you have these cameras, you have these mics, like you have this equipment and you're a family, like, wow, and everyone kind of wants to be a communication major. And I'd say go for it. If you are someone who is a people person and you look at the world around you and you're like, what can I do to dissect it and broadcast it, podcast it, and just put it out there? This is for you. Like, this is your home. So go for it. And I can't wait to see you guys come in.
That was really nice, Tara. I mean, Tasha, thank you. That was like, that made me very emotional. Beautiful.
I second. So I'll just segue from there. Tasha, I don't know how I can follow that up. I'm going to try really hard. So here we go. This is where some of our graduates go. If you want to follow where our Cougars go after they leave us, you can see that a lot of these companies you should know. And if not, you're going to get to know them really fast right now. So you're going to see a collection of roads that our graduates have chosen to travel since leaving us. And those folks who are on the call today continue to pave their own roads now or in the near future. But I'm going to call out some key folks here. Al Hughes Dukes is the producer of WFAN's The Boomer and Geo Show, former The Boomer and Carton Show, essentially one of the #1 sports radio shows in the country in terms of morning shows. Brian Murphy is not only our peer SSA advisor, but also the senior vice president at Coin PR, and that is the top 10 independent PR firms in the country. And we now also have 6 other students who are working there as well. I'm really proud of that. Kevin Castaneda, a former student of mine, I'm sure Professor Atkins or Professor Edgley might have had him as well, now working at the NBA. Deanna Varingia, one of the interns I used to supervise, is now over at Saks Fifth Avenue. Josh Rosario, who's the former editor of our Tower newspaper, is now reporting for the Jersey Journal on a daily basis. Ryan Gatos is over at Fox News as a sports editor. And Alon Mira, one of our former PRSSA students, is also now working for Calvin Klein. And when I tell you that this is just a small sample, it really, really is. And this is really just from the last 5 years. You know, just imagine how many more opportunities are out there for our Kane students. And we continue to find a way to track them down every day so we can tell them your stories. Next slide, please. And you can see that when you become—
One thing I wanted to just mention is a lot of our students end up in healthcare, human resources, sales, management. There's just a lot of other things you can do with a communication degree besides just media and journalism too.
Yeah, you know, Professor Atkins, you're right. I mean, Professor Edgley talked about it too, just how flexible and malleable our degree is. If you're checking us out online, you can always go to the School of Communication at kane.edu and look up some of our web pages and really see how flexible the degree is. If you're on LinkedIn and you want to see where our graduates have gone, or when you get ready to graduate and you want to stay in touch, this LinkedIn group we created a couple of months ago has really been beneficial. We now already have over 150 grads that are staying in touch and finding ways to give back to our students. So we're really, really excited about that. And you can see when people leave us, they're never too far gone. They always find ways to come back and stay in touch.